When King Frederick and Queen Ingrid of Denmark visited the United States recently, I was invited to read a story at the Hans Christian Andersen statue in Central Park in New York City. I asked King Frederick what his favorite story was. "It is perfectly true," he said. "I'm sure it is, Your Majesty," I replied, "but what is it called?" "It is perfectly true," said the king. And so it is. "It is a dreadful business," said a hen, and she said it in a part of the town where the incident had not even taken place. "It is a dreadful business to happen in a hen house. I wouldn't dare to sleep alone tonight. Thank goodness there are so many of us on the perch." And then she told her story in such a way that the feathers of the other hens stood on end, and even the rooster's comb drooped. It is perfectly true. But let's begin at the beginning. It happened in a hen house at the other end of the town. The sun went down and the hens flew up. One of them was a white-feathered, short-legged, nice little thing who laid her eggs regularly. A most respectable hen in every way. She settled herself on the perch, preening herself with her beak. One tiny feather fluttered down. "There's that feather gone," she said. "Well, the more I preen myself, the more handsome I shall become, no doubt." She said it only in fun, you know. She was the life and soul of that crowd, but otherwise, as we have said, most respectable. Then she fell asleep. All was dark. There sat the hens, packed closely together. But the white hen's neighbor wasn't asleep at all. She had heard and not heard, as one must do in this world for the sake of peace and quiet. But she couldn't resist telling it to her neighbor on the other side. "Did you hear? Well, my dear, I won't mention names, but there is one hen I know who is going to pluck out all her feathers just to make herself look smart. If I were a rooster, I should simply treat her with contempt." Up above the hens lived Mother Owl with Father Owl and all the little owls. They were a sharp-eared family, and they heard every word. They rolled their eyes, and Mother Owl flapped her wings. "Don't take any notice. You heard what she said, of course. I heard it with my own ears. Upon my word, I don't know what the world is coming to. One of the hens, so utterly lost to all sense of henly decency, is sitting there plucking out her feathers with the rooster looking on the whole time." "Little pitchers have long ears," said Father Owl. "Be careful what you are saying." "Oh, but I shall have to tell the owl across the road," said Mother Owl. "She is somebody, and well worth associating with, you know." And off she flew. "Twit-too, twit-too, twit-too," they hooted together outside the pigeon house over the way. "Have you heard the news? Have you heard the news? There is a hen who has pulled out all her feathers just to please the rooster. She's freezing to death, if she isn't dead already. Twit-too, twit-too." "Where? Where?" asked the pigeons. "In the yard opposite. I saw it, so to speak, with my own eyes. It's not at all a nice story to tell, but it is perfectly true." "True, true, true," cooed the pigeons, and they flew down to tell the story in the chicken run below. There is a hen. In fact, some say there are two hens who have plucked out all their feathers to be different from the rest, and to attract the attention of the rooster. A dreadful thing to do, what with the risk of chills and fever. And they caught cold and died, both of them. "Cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo, wake up," crowed the rooster, flying up onto the fence. He was still half asleep, but he crowed all the same. 3 hens have died of a broken heart, all for the sake of the rooster. They have plucked out all their feathers, and now they are dead. It is a dreadful business, but it is no good trying to keep it quiet. Tell anyone you please. We will tell, squeaked the bats. And the rooster crowed and the hens clucked. Tell, and so the story flew from one hen house to another, until at last it came back to the place where it had really started. 5 hens, that's how it was told. 5 hens have plucked out all their feathers to show which one has lost the most weight for love of the rooster. Then they pecked at one another until it bled, and all 5 dropped down dead. A shame and a disgrace to their relations, and a serious loss to their owner. The hen who had dropped the little loose feather naturally didn't recognize her own story, and as she was a respectable hen, she exclaimed, I despise such hens, but there are others just as bad. Things like that ought not to be hushed up. I must do what I can to get the story into the papers, and it will soon be known all over the country and serve the wretches right, and their relations too. It was put into the papers, all clear in plain print. And it is perfectly true. One little feather can easily become 5 hens. When I finished the story, I looked up at the statue of Hans Christian Andersen, and as the King and Queen of Denmark applauded warmly, I'm positive that I saw a twinkle in his eye. This is perfectly true.